It's Jenna Sword here with youcanbrand.com. I am so excited. Today I have on Anna Geiger, who is a brand manager for Adidas. She's a good friend of mine, and you know, us both being in the branding world, I thought what an amazing opportunity to interview her about her experience working with a global brand and find out a little bit about social media tactics. So tell me a little bit about kind of what you do over at Adidas. Like, what do you oversee?
Yeah, right now as the brand communications and digital marketing manager, we get to first start with the category strategic vision. Where do we want this category to go? What does it look like, sound like, feel like? And then I'm also overseeing digital marketing, so everything from social media and all of our platforms to our company website for women's training specifically, to what our experiences look like on your mobile device. Any advertising that our category will be doing, we're working on.
Interesting. Okay. And so, so right now, in regards to social media, which is what we're going to talk about today, I wanted to find out from you, first of all, what kind of social medias does Adidas really focus on? And are there any social medias that they find not to be relevant to their industry?
I think right now, we know that our consumer is inundated with many different social platforms, and it's important to get your message out there wherever they are. So we actually are on many of the social platforms and keeping our finger on the pulse in terms of up-and-coming platforms, what's the next hot thing.
So what do you think the next hot thing is?
Loaded
question.
Right? Well, we have seen a jump in participation on platforms like Snapchat and Tumblr. So I don't know what's next, but I assume that the consumer will continue to find new platforms to share their pictures and everything else.
So with something like Snapchat, like I generally as like a solopreneur don't ever think about how do I use Snapchat for anything relating to my business, because I thought Snapchat was a way for like teenagers to send sexy pictures to each other.
Yeah. So I think first, when evaluating a social platform and if it's right for your brand or your company, is first to think about your target consumer. So who are you going after? Are they actually on this platform? If not, then it's probably not a platform you need to worry about. If you do feel that your target is on that platform, then the next thing I would recommend is how are they using it? And then create content specific to that use.
So deciding basically where your audience is and then focusing on those. So sometimes entrepreneurs, especially like people that I know in the different organizations that I belong to that are online and in Facebook, sometimes they take this blanketed approach where they're like, oh, I just need to do everything. I want to, you know, do Twitter and do Facebook and do all these things. And they don't really know how to figure out which one is the best or how to use it the most effectively. So do you have any ideas about that?
Yeah, my recommendation is do not do a blanket approach, right? So if you have a story to be told, there should be many chapters to that story. And if you go back to, okay, my consumer uses this platform in this way. For example, Twitter is what's happening right now in the present. It's very like newsworthy headlines. That might be a time to talk about a new store opening or a new product launch or something happening right now, whereas Instagram might just be a place for beautiful images as you're scrolling on them through your phone. So we wouldn't want to put a flyer or like words that say new store opening on Instagram and post on Twitter and put that same image on Facebook and put that same thing on Pinterest, because then it's just a boring approach. Whereas if you have different chapters of that story, maybe you're talking about the same thing, but showing a different image or a different part for each of those platforms.
So is the reason for doing that, I'm imagining, is not just because, I mean, it's a very good reason to do this because you are trying to approach the social media in the way that that audience is expecting to see things. So that would totally be probably the number one reason to do it. But the number two reason I would think, and you should totally correct me if I'm wrong, is that you probably have fans that are across multiple platforms and they don't want to see the same thing. They want a different story. So that totally
Exactly. Think about it in your own personal life too. If your friends are posting a bunch of pictures on Facebook, but you see it also on Twitter and Instagram and Pinterest, why there's no reason to follow your friend on all of those platforms if you're going to see the same exact thing. So a brand should treat it the same way. You want to post different content on those different platforms in the way that they're using it.
So when you guys have, like, let's say a new product release, with something like Instagram, do you have any like secret techniques that you use to be able to get people to share, like, or do you use certain hashtags on Twitter or Instagram? Any ideas about that?
Yeah, so again, for us, it always goes back to our consumer and an insight. So every time we put a campaign together or a product launch, we start with that insight and then build our plan from there. In terms of Instagram specifically, I view that platform as a platform to house beautiful, compelling imagery, stuff you're not going to see anywhere else. Maybe it's a really candid behind-the-scenes shot of a photo shoot of us with one of our athletes, or maybe it's a really great curated outfit laydown for inspiration for her workout, things like that that are a little bit more compelling and visually impactful.
That makes sense. How do you guys use Pinterest? What are some of the techniques for that?
If you think about it in your personal way as well, there's pins and there's boards. So you are on that platform to discover and be inspired. Probably have a project or something you're working on and you want to just start a board of inspiration. So really on that platform, it's less about, well, it's a great platform to drive sales as well, but the first purpose would be to inspire her and give her some motivation for her workout style. And then when she's ready to buy a new outfit, she can click right through and go to the site if it's pinned properly from the website that you want it to link to.
So really it's kind of a backwards approach because, you know, there's like two different ways to use Pinterest. I've seen this before, and I don't know which way you guys are using this, but I've seen colleges, for example, increase a lot of engagement with their fans by providing boards that they can be inspired from on Pinterest. So like that's
Right.
like one thing where like if Adidas had its own Pinterest page, that you guys would have all these inspirational things that you guys had pinned from other businesses, right? And then on your own website, the difference would be that one, when you're curating images, you could think about, like, let's say a gift buying thing, like gift buying chart or a gift buying guide or something, and that you're going to be thinking about, oh, this is going to be a really good pinnable item. So you make sure that it connects with the Pinterest thing so that people can pin it easily, and then that's what's going to click back to the site, just to kind of clarify.
Yeah, and I think there's two prongs to it. First and foremost, on Adidas.com, we make sure that all of our products are actually pinnable. So if you go to Adidas.com and you look for the Tech Fit bra and you're at that page where you can add to your cart, there's little social buttons there where you can just pin to your own Pinterest board. So that's one prong. And then the other prong is using our professional athletes and influencers that we partner with and making sure that they're pinning images that we're creating featuring them as well. So it's on their boards, it's on our boards.